Hello Capricorn, Capricorn Rising and Capricorn Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for December 2017. Just a quick reminder for all of you Capricorns out there, remember that these horoscopes talk about the big sweeping aspects that go on with our astrology throughout the month. And I never put anything in here that is here today or gone tomorrow. So if you're looking for more shorter term aspects, I highly recommend that you check out your weekly astrological horoscopes. The first half of all my weekly horoscopes is always exclusively astrology anyway, so there's something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with this month? Well, from the 1st to the 25th, we've got Venus, planet of harmony, attraction, pleasure, love, in your 12th house of your past, your privacy, your hidden zone. And this is a month where a lot of Capricorns may actually find that secret crushes, secret rendezvous, or possibly even discreet opportunities to start dating are abundant. You know, with Venus in the 12th house, we tend to find that we are spending more time with either our partners or meeting new people in much more introverted, much more private settings. You know, we're not going out and, we're not going out for drinks at a crowded bar. We're not we're not going out to the symphony and things like that. Everything is kind of getting a bit more cozy and again, just a little bit more out of sight. Some of you may find that this month, you may find out that somebody may have a secret crush on you. Somebody may divulge that information or release that information to you. And again, for those of you who are currently coupled, we're taking our relationships out of the spotlight for a little bit, out of circulation, maybe spending less time with friends and family, really getting to know each other a bit more. Venus in the 12th house is also an interesting time because you tend to find you're learning more about your partner's past and you sharing more of your past with your partner than you normally have or normally would. But again, it's an opportunity for intimacy. We also have Mercury retrograde in this area of your chart from the 3rd to the 22nd. And with Mercury retrograde in the 12th house, it's important to pay attention to what you do with information that is given to you in confidence. This can definitely be a tough aspect because sometimes we may find in the interest of being constructive, the interest of being helpful, sometimes we accidentally, share too much of another person's private matters. Again, something that was given to us in confidence. This can create some conflict, especially if we accidentally say, let out a friend's secret, or, go and blab somebody's story, or share too much, or overshare what a lover spoke to us behind closed doors, and it may, get us into trouble. So with Mercury retrograde in the 12th, it's important to keep a lid on it. However, with Mercury retrograde in the 12th, we do have a lot of people speaking a lot of truths to you and opening up with a lot of truths this month. You may be finding out again more about what is going on behind closed doors and what people are even keeping in secret in, less intimate ways, in less intimate settings. You may be finding out secrets going on with the organization you work for, the neighborhood you live in, the apartment complex you live in. You're finding out about changes way ahead of schedule. But again, with Mercury retrograde, you're going to have to use discretion and make sure that you don't let any cats out of any bags. On the 3rd, we've got a full moon in Gemini. That is in your 6th house of work. I'm sorry, your 7th house. Your 7th house. Your 6th house. It's your 6th house of work. I'm looking at a 6 on here, which is really not something I should do without glasses on. It's in your 6th house of work, reputation, and your physical health. And this is going to open up a 2-week window between the 3rd and the 17th for any kind of ending or culmination that you may wish to make a transition with. And when we have a full moon in the 6th house, if you're trying to get onto, say, a different work shift, maybe change schedules, you don't want to work nights anymore, you want to work days. You don't want to work days, you want to work nights. You don't want to work for a certain boss, you want to work on a different team. This full moon is going to allow you to make that transition much more smoothly and much more quickly than if you had to go through a normal process or a normal, I guess you could say, order of operations type of procedure. With the full moon here as well, some of you may be actually finding that it's time to change a health routine or perhaps a therapeutic regimen you are on. If you are taking any kind of medication, there may be an update that says that maybe we shouldn't be taking this anymore. I would definitely check with my doctor or my GP to be, be completely sure. But we tend to find that it's time to move on to either a new treatment or to adjust treatment accordingly. Dosages may change, or possibly even getting us on a different type of medication or off it in general. Again, always go to your health authority. Astrology is no substitute for that, but it may be catching something you should pay attention to, and it may actually be a nice relief. On the 9th, we've got Mars, planet of action and energy, passion and conviction, moving into Scorpio, into your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And when Mars goes into the 11th house, it's a wonderful time to start building up a stronger team around you. We are talking about focusing on your platonic relationships. We are talking about getting you a strong crew, a strong team, a strong squad around you. And this is so important because, nowadays all the emphasis is on, okay, we either need to have a financial relationship or a sexual relationship, or we need to be related by blood, and if it's none of those things, then we can just have a fair weather friendship and it's okay. Mars says absolutely not. We're getting away from those shallow priorities, and we're focusing a little bit more on, okay, yeah, how strong is your team? How strong is your relationship with your BFF? How strong is your relationship with the people that are there before the relationship, and hopefully not after, but, during the relationship and all of that? What is going on with those people who've propped you up this whole time? Do we need more of that? I think we all need a platonic support system. And Mars is bringing the bonding in. It's kind of like a month-and-a-half long hiking trip or backpacking trip that really solidifies and tightens these relationships. However, with Mars in the 11th house, you might actually need to also be ready to have some arguments or have some scuffles, because it does seem to me that we are taking the hard way, but at the same time probably the more efficient way, to take down some unnecessary social and psychological walls that have been keeping us from actually being open and trusting with our friends, and they us. And over the course of the next month and a half, yes, there may be some fights and some conflict, but for two hearts to understand each other, sometimes they both have to ram together and break down the wall that's in between them. And you will come out with a stronger sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, and camaraderie after that. On the 18th, we've got a new moon in Sagittarius in your 12th house, your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone. And with the new moon in the 12th, this can be a very, very strong opportunity for a lot of you who are trying to perhaps upgrade or begin a new creative art, a new creative discipline, or even a new spiritual discipline. If you are interested in taking something to the next level, if you've maybe been playing around with, say, a hobby when it comes to an artistic craft, music, maybe again your spiritual practice, your religious path, or whatever, a new moon in the 12th house is saying there's sort of a new art, a new technique, a new skill being activated between the 18th and the end of the month that you certainly need to be paying some attention to. This could turn into something that you offer as a service to others, or something that you actually decide to debut at the beginning of the year, which will change your reputation quite a bit, but it will be attracting people who do get you in that very private 12th house way. On the 19th, we've got Saturn, your ruler, moving into your sign. And when Saturn is in Capricorn, I've been telling everybody, he is not the scapegoat that everyone makes him out to be. Saturn really shouldn't be a scapegoat anyway. Those who've been following me long enough know that I don't really condone that kind of attitude. And with Saturn going into your sign, remember, Saturn's at home. Saturn is strong, Saturn is happy, his energy moves a lot more smoothly than he did in Sagittarius. Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in our sign does focus, however, on refining our personality and the way we actually perform in getting our ways across to people, our desires across to people, how we conduct ourselves in relationships, basically the how we go about being us. Now, Saturn in our sign can feel like a lot of pressure every once in a while. We feel like we're getting immediate correction for even the slightest error, the slightest faux pas, the slightest mistake, and it can kind of feel like somebody is there just harshly criticizing us for everything we do, almost like we're in a finishing school. Well, Saturn in the sign, in one's own sign, can feel like being in a finishing school. But at the same time, you've got to understand that Saturn does actually give the best rewards as well. Even though he can be a bit of a harsh, taskmaster, he is ultimately one of the signs that brings, again, the fastest, or I guess you could say the most long-standing upgrades. Saturn can help people get married. Saturn can help people get promotions. Saturn can help people become famous. But with Saturn in one sign, it's important to pay attention to the cues. We may be learning some things that we need to shed, whether they're behavioral patterns that have gone on for too long. Sometimes they are things that we've carried from childhood, things that we've inherited by imitating other people, things that we've done, because as a reaction to maybe a trauma or, a difficult life experience. And Saturn is saying we're going to get away from that because that is not you. One of the things that's very important to pay attention to, for those of you who, when it comes to your jobs and comes to your relationships and things like that, Saturn does not condone imitation, okay? So be careful if you're trying to perhaps imitate even a role model, even somebody that you think resonates with a lot of people, even with the best of intentions. Saturn is trying to, push you away from that. There are certain things in your life, if you built them up either by imitating people because, again, fake it till you make it, or because, again, they were a role model who set a good example, you may find those things becoming challenged and requiring, a bit of fresh energy during this transit of the next 2.5 years. But again, all in all, Saturn is actually working for your best benefit. He's always working for everybody's best benefit. Now, on the same day, however, we do have the Sun moving in to Capricorn, and from the 19th to the 3rd week of January, we do have some levity. Alright, the Sun moving into Capricorn is attracting you more attention, more fun, more recreation, more extroverted activity. And with the Sun in Capricorn alongside Saturn, you are going to be noticing you're getting a lot more attention, or what you are passionate about, what you're producing, is also getting a lot more attention. But it's sort of putting us on stage to perform. It is an opportunity, in a sense, to almost be discovered. But when we have Saturn and the Sun together, remember, don't be caught imitating or acting like anyone else. Sometimes what's happening is he's testing you in the very beginning. He's testing you to see, okay, what is your unique spin? I don't want to see how you are so much like that guy or so much like that girl. Alright, we want to make sure that, again, the attention that's being drawn to your business, to your finances, to your love life, to your social life is all meant for you and you uniquely and your own unique expression. And it does look like that levity and that popularity is coming to you regardless. So enjoy it. Finally, on the 25th of the month, we've got Venus moving into Capricorn, where she will be up until around the end of January. And with Venus in your sign, we get the wild card blessings of Venus. We get the opportunity to attract and magnetize ourselves to our desires. People are doing us more favors, we're winning popularity contests, and again, you may even be noticing that a personal following is starting to grow. With Venus in your sign as well, it is an opportunity for you to perhaps even attract a lover, or to perhaps, if it comes from that person in the 12th house we saw earlier in this video, we may actually be getting closer or taking a love more and more out in the open. All in all, very enjoyable. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.